Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Somehow, someway, you stumbled into my YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you like the video. Hit subscribe down below for more sexy New York Jets content. Doesn't get any sexier than potential draft day trades, and we're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft, so it's time to talk about some potential scenarios. And with that being said, I've got a full article in the YouTube description down below on this blockbuster trade proposal between the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. Shout out to the 33rd team that put this together in a recent mock draft. And here is the proposal. I'll get right into it, then we'll dive into the details. It would be the Minnesota Vikings launching up in the 2023 NFL draft in the first round to acquire the Jets' 13th overall pick. In exchange, the New York Jets would receive the 23rd overall pick, so a pick swap in the first round, a 2023 third rounder, that's number 87 overall, and a juicy 2024 first round draft choice. Sign me the hell up before I hear anything else. Sexy. I love it from the 33rd team. There's a lot of potential scenarios where the Jets will trade down. And we'll get right into it because I believe it's a strong possibility. Let's talk about this real quick as we talk about this potential possibility. The Jets need a center. It's obvious. Connor McGovern's still hanging out in free agency. The only guy they have is Wes Schweitzer. Okay, he's a backup guy. So they have no starter right now heading into the draft. Personally, I hate that because now everyone else in the world, their grandma, your mama, everybody knows that the Jets need a center. So I hate having that in the draft because people can cock block you when we get into the draft talk. So that's a big no-no for me. However, so the Jets need a center. Well, you can't take one at 13. That's just too gosh darn rich. Centers don't go that high in the draft. There's only been, I think, out of the last 3 years, 2 centers even going in the first round, let alone talking 13. So 13's too high. The problem is the next time the Jets pick 42 and 43 in the second round, respectively, thanks to the Elijah Moore trade with the Cleveland Browns, that may be too late for the New York Jets to get one of these top flight centers, regardless of who your option is. So whether it's John Michael Schmitz, whether it's Luke Whippler, whether it's Tippmann, whoever your flavor is, there's a chance the Jets could miss out on the whole center run, which leads us to believe the proper choice for the New York Jets may be trading back, maybe backing up beep, beep, beep from 13 and going to a steadier range where it's more comfortable to take a center in terms of positional value. And of course, the kicker with that is you can pick up additional draft capital both in this draft and, of course, in future years' drafts as well. In this specific scenario, the Jets would be able to recoup the third round pick, in theory, that they lost to the Cleveland Browns in the trade up with Elijah Moore. So you could get that third round pick back. You slide back a little bit in the first round, and in this scenario, they had the Jets taking Tippmann out of Wisconsin as the center for trading back. And then, of course, you have that first round pick in 2024 to play with. Now, that could be a potential big time trade, whether that's for the Rodgers thing, if you needed that, or picking up another big time piece if you wanted to go all in, or, of course, to have the security, the floor, if things go to crap with Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of good quarterbacks available in the 2024 class. So you just put yourself in a great position potentially for this to happen. So, again, if the Jets are going to trade back, and I think it's a very good possibility, they could be looking for one of those centers because you ain't taking at 13 and 42 or 43, you could miss out on the entire landscape. Now, for the Vikings, why the hell would they be moving up? In this specific scenario for 33rd team, they had quarterbacks going 1, 2, and 3 in the draft, respectively. The last remaining quarterback was number 4, Anthony Richardson, who ended up falling to the New York Jets at 13. And obviously the Jets have their eyes set on Aaron Rodgers, so they're probably not taking a quarterback in the first round. But that doesn't mean someone else doesn't want to take a quarterback in the first round, so they could take full advantage of that. Now, the more we all think that like 4 quarterbacks are going in the top 10, and that'd be great news for the Jets because that means other positions are going to fall to the Jets at 13. But there's also a possibility that some of these quarterbacks don't go the way we think they will. There's been some rumors that the Texans may not take a quarterback, which obviously that could kick guys down potentially for the Jets potentially to trade back out of if guys are going to fall from that perspective. So that's going to be something interesting to watch, and the Vikings could be this desperate team. Now, pulling out the calculator for the NFL draft value chart, The Jets' 13th overall pick is worth 1,150 points. The combination of picks we talked about, the first round swap for the Vikings this year, their third rounder, and a 2024 first rounder is worth a combined 1,915 points. So this would be, quite frankly, a gross overpay by the Purple People leaders if they were going to make this deal that was projected and predicted by the 33rd team. But don't dissuade that from saying that's an unrealistic possibility, because trades happen all the time. The draft value chart, again, is a guideline. It's not gospel. It's not 100%. It's not tit for tat. It's not always this combination means this combination. Again, so it's normally a general guideline, but it kind of gets thrown out the window in a couple of different respects. First off, when we're talking quarterbacks, when you're moving up for quarterbacks, the price increases dramatically. So that's a considerable number one. Number two, the overall belief from the draft geeks is that there is a top four upper tier of quarterbacks, and Hendon Hooker, there's been some buzz, but again, there's a top four. Hendon Hooker is the five. He is the firm five in that conversation. But you have this top four guys with Will Levis, you got CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and of course, Anthony Richardson. So people are going to want those guys. And if one of them starts to fall, there could be a bit of a bidding war to try to go up and get this guy. And at 13, obviously, it could be really intriguing. So if the Vikings want to ensure they get their guy, they may have to pay the piper, pay the price, even if it is an overpay, which the Jets in this particular situation are the major beneficiary of. So Jets trading back, that's 100% on the table. Now, will they do it if one of the top offensive tackles are there, or will they just do it straight up because they want to recoup some picks, maybe set themselves up for the Aaron Rodgers trade? If you trade back, maybe you could set up some extra picks and then you trade for Aaron Rodgers and you're like, ooh, we're still okay here because we have multiple picks coming in from this proposed trade. So it's possible. It could be. It's sexy. Again, you guys can read more details in the article down below. This is my favorite draft trade that I've seen from anybody on the internet, because again, it helps you in the right now with the Jets picking up that third rounder. That could be a key piece. And then of course the first rounder in the future. You can either use that for this year, you can use it for next year. The Jets have done really well when they've had this treasure trove of picks. Remember Garrett Wilson, remember Sauce Gardner last year. All of that worked out pretty well. So more draft picks for Joe Douglas would always be a good thing. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below, because again, we are under 2 weeks away from the gosh darn 2023 NFL draft, baby. It's picking up. It's getting juicy. And this may be the juiciest trade that I've seen involving the New York Jets in terms of a prediction mock scenario. And I'm freaking eating it up, baby. But let me know what you guys think down below. You could support it by both reading the article down below, by liking the video, hitting subscribe. Again, we're trying to make an epic chase for 5,000 gosh darn subscribers. And every single one of you, your support is much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next time on the channel. Thanks, everybody.